are listening to Your Servant is Listening podcast, Job 41, 33 through 34 NLT. Nothing on earth is its equal, no other creature so fearless. Of all the creatures, it is the proudest, it is the king of beasts. The imagination God has given us is incredible, and when people invest in that imagination, who knows what may appear? Maybe even a dragon. Today I'm going to talk about dragons and why I love them and how that works out for me as a Christian. I've heard many tales and have seen many cool animations of dragons. And one of my favorite books about dragons is about J.R.R. Tolkien as a child. The book is called Ronald's Dragons. It's about J.R.R. Tolkien imagining dragons up in ordinary life. For instance, as a boy, he was sitting under a tree and pictured a dragon wrapping its long green tail around the trunk, looking down at him from the branches above. To simply say, J.R.R. Tolkien was a big fan of dragons, and so am I. The dragons that have stolen my heart are beautiful, magnificent, and inspiring. One of those dragons is called Toothless. He is from the movie How to Train Your Dragon. For listeners who haven't watched How to Train Your Dragon, here's a short recap from Wikipedia. And for the entertainment and laughter of my listeners, I'll try to do it in a Viking accent. The story takes place in a mythical fantasy Viking world where a young Viking teenager named Hiccup aspires to follow his tribe's tradition of becoming a dragon slayer. After finally capturing his first dragon, the infamous and elusive Night Fury, and with his chance of finally gaining the tribe's acceptance and father's recognition, he finds that he no longer has the desire to kill the dragon, and instead befriends it. He soon realizes that to protect the Night Fury, Toothless, he must show the Vikings the truth of dragons. Yes, the truth of dragons. That is one thing that came up when one day someone wrote to me. They were concerned about me drawing dragons since I was a Christian. They pointed out that they believed that the dragon was a symbol of Satan himself. It is true there are references in Revelation where God uses the dragon to represent Satan, but that was a specific dragon for a specific passage of the Bible. There's also other parts of the Bible that talk about creatures like leviathans, which are very dragon-like. And I'd like to read to you from Job 41, where God describes the leviathan to Job to show his power and might as creator in creating such an amazing beast. Beginning in verse 12, I want to emphasize the leviathan's limbs and its enormous strength and graceful form. Who can strip off its hide, and who can penetrate its double layer of armor? Who can pry open its jaws? For its teeth are terrible. The scales on its back are like rows of shields, tightly sealed together. They are so close together that no air can get between them. Going down to verse 18, when it sneezes, it flashes light. Its eyes are like the red of dawn. Lightning leaps from its mouth. Flames of fire flash out. Smoke streams from its nostrils, like steam from a pot heated over burning rushes. Its breath would kindle coals, for flames shoot from its mouth. Now going down to 31. Leviathan makes the water boil with its commotion. It stirs the depths like a pot of ointment. The water glistens in its wake, making the sea look white. Nothing on earth is its equal. No other creature so fearless. Of all the creatures, it is the proudest. It is the king of beasts. Which makes me believe, if indeed dragons truly did exist as leviathans or as other creatures like dinosaurs with wings, that dragons are like the rest of creation. They were created by God for God's glory. And for anyone who's hearing this, all I want to do with dragons is to draw and tell their stories to glorify and honor God and to share his truth. And now I think it's time to jump off this Leviathan trail and get back to How to Train Your Dragon. There are many things I love about this film, but there are also things about it that are not good or God-glorifying. I really love this movie and would definitely recommend it, but I would also recommend going to Plugged In and reading about it on there. Plugged In is a Christian site where they review movies and shows. On their blogs about movies, you can also find things to think about or discuss with your family or friends. You can find a link to Plugged In the description of this video. The film is imaginative and whimsical and grasps lots of inspiration from God's creation, such as dogs and cats. Toothless, the main dragon, chases after a light beam like my cat, and he also plays fetch like my dog. The film has fantastic music, and Toothless also makes some of the goofiest noises, which just plain makes him so cute and entertaining. One point of the film is that we find unlikely friends from the most unlikely places. For instance, Hiccup finds himself in a full village of Vikings and yet finds himself alone. But despite the fact that Hiccup is rejected by the villagers as a Viking, he finds friendship in the infamous Night Fury. One devotional I read said that sometimes our friends are four-legged, and in this case have wings. One day I felt in my heart, as if the Spirit were speaking to me, that dragons were an opportunity for me as an artist to reach out to the world and to present the gospel. And ever since posting those dragon videos out, my description of my YouTube channel, which has the gospel in it, has been read 36,527 times. To put it simply, I love the gospel and I love dragons. Why not let the gospel ride on the wings of dragons to reach more people? This podcast is for God's glory. Thank you for listening and have a really great day. Bye!